What's up guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Polina and today I'm gonna share some life hacks which will help you to pass IELTS. So, at first I'm gonna tell you about my preparation and then about life hacks. My preparation took a little bit over than 2 months. I prepared with an online school and with my personal tutor offline. I had about 4 or 5 lessons per week. I know that for some people it takes about 1 year or half a year to prepare for IELTS, but my level was about B2 and I knew that I wouldn't need a long preparation. I was sure of myself. So I decided to pass IELTS computer-based because I type on the keyboard way more faster than I write by hand. So the first life hack, pass IELTS on computer if you type faster than write. Okay, I'm gonna describe you every part and offer some pieces of advice related to them. Let's start with listening. Listening is the first part of the exam and you won't have a possibility to change your parts, for example, to start with writing and then when listening. No, exam is organized in that way so that you will have listening, then reading, then writing, and speaking is the part which is not connected with other parts. You will be given a piece of paper and a pencil to leave your notes, and if you were not given a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, just ask for them and don't be shy because it is your exam and it is your responsibility to pass your exam and it is your desire to pass the exam, so don't be shy. A piece of paper and pencil will be useful in the exercise with spelling. Try to escape everything except the audio. Really, try to escape every noise because it is really important to listen to the audio carefully. Try to read all the questions and answers in advance before the audio starts, because it is really hard to combine listening and reading, so try to read all the questions and answers in advance. Don't stop on the question if you don't know the answer. If you don't know the answer, just pass these questions. Don't stop on it because you will waste your time. Multiple choice, my least favorite task. The only piece of advice that I could give, use the opposite method. Remove those answers that you think are absolutely wrong. The fewer answers you have, the easier it will be to choose. Pay attention to articles. If you see a, then look for a singular word. If you see an adjective, then look for a noun. And it also works in reading. So, reading. Firstly, do not neglect the practice, because some people think that they are proficient in reading, they know English, they speak English, and the reading is the easiest part. But it's not right, because practice is extremely necessary, and frequency and intensity of the practice influence your score. For example, I have reduced the number of mistakes 4 times in 2 months. Think about it. If you will choose to pass IELTS on computer, you will have a possibility to make notes on paper and to highlight texts and also add some comments if you want so. What is more, don't forget about Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V option. It also saves your time. True, false, not given. I think everybody hates it. I remember being furious while making this task because sometimes you cannot even understand what is true, what is false, and what is not given. My life hack: don't look for an information which was not given. If you get tricky questions while preparing, I know what I mean. Sometimes you are not sure of your answers. It's not likely to happen in the exam itself because I personally had it all straightforward. I knew clearly what was true, what was false, and so on. Read everything. Really, guys, read everything. Don't think that you will leave some parts of the text and you will save your time. No, it doesn't work at all, because you were given time to read. Read everything, especially when you have to match headings with the paragraphs. Some people prefer to escape reading and to find some sentences, some useful sentences or phrases. Some people read quickly, but I advise you to read carefully, because as I already said, you are given your time to read. And when you read quickly and begin to reread the text, you lose your time. Writing. I got 6 points, and I'm not sure whether my life hacks will be useful, but start with the essay if you don't have enough time for it. I mean, if you notice that you don't have enough time to write your essay, try to do task 2 and then to do task 1. I mean, to change tasks. It's not a problem. Don't use plenty of linking words and don't write abstract phrases. In Russian they are called water. Such phrases that do not make a lot of sense. For example, in our hectic time, the problem of education causes a great number of hot debates. Who cares it? As I've already said, my score is not that high, but I will advise you 2 websites. The first one is freecollocation.com. It's extremely useful, guys. In this website you can find the correct use of words with each other, adjectives, nouns, verbs, etc. Just write, for example, a word question, and you will have adjectives which are used with this word, for example, pointed, searching, and so on. The next useful website is called Cambridge Dictionary. In some cases, it demonstrates the level of the word, so you can check whether your word is appropriate for your desirable level or not. Speaking. It seems to me that it was the easiest part for me, because you don't have to memorize something to prepare for something, you just have to talk and that's it. The first piece of advice: be natural. And don't try to seem better than you are. Don't use words or grammatical structures which you are not sure about. Also, I heard that it's not good to use idioms both in writing and speaking. I didn't use idioms, but I think you'd not rather, don't use them. Don't think about the complexity of your answer. Think about your idea and express it. Practice speaking as much as possible. If you don't have anyone who could practice speaking with you, just talk to yourself out loud. Just imagine like you have an interview, make up some questions and answer them. Or you can use some web services like Omegle. It was not an advertisement, unfortunately, but yeah, they're useful too, I think. Don't hesitate if you don't know the answer. Your exam won't look like interrogation. You will have a simple conversation like with friends. You will have to express your opinion, your thoughts, your insights. Just tell about yourself, your hobbies, family, and so on. Don't hesitate, be simple. So let me describe my experience of passing speaking part. I passed it twice because I had 2 exams. When I passed it for the first time, I was a little bit stressed because I didn't know what to expect, and the questions that I had were a little bit awkward. For example, describe your biggest achievements that you are proud of. I was like, the biggest achievement? I'm only 19. What do you mean? I'm not a sportsman, a singer, a blogger. I'm nobody. I'm just a teenager. What's the biggest achievement? I left my university. Wow. The next question was, tell how employers can reward their employees and for what. I've never thought about these questions. What was I what I was going to answer. But when I passed speaking part for the second time, I was more relaxed. Maybe because I had this part before the rest of the exam that day, maybe not. And the examiner was more easygoing, and she didn't have that British accent. And here's the problem, because I noticed that I don't understand British accent completely. Yes, I learn English and I don't understand it. I told about the day when I was given money as a birthday gift. Then I told about the difference between cash and credit cards, and the whole conversation, it was easy. I have said everything I wanted, and I was sure that my score will be higher because I was sure of myself. And that's the piece of advice. Be sure of yourself and don't be afraid of anything. The last but not least, don't memorize phrases. It's very noticeable, guys, when you speak fast, when you can't stop, when you speak memorized phrases like in our hectic time. And finally, listen to podcasts and watch videos of native speakers. Don't watch a lot of videos, a lot of educational videos, because when you listen to podcasts, you hear live speech. When you listen to educational videos or podcasts, you don't hear it. For example, I was listening to a podcast with Hailey Bieber, and she said, "I'm a people person." And I've never heard about this phrase. And it's really useful for IELTS because as a rule, questions are about you. So you can say, I'm a people person, I love people, I love spend my free time with my friends, so we hang out somewhere, for example, in the shopping center and so on. Yeah, it's really useful. I forgot that I'm recording this video in English. I wanted to start speaking Russian, sorry. So, it was everything I wanted to share with you. If you have some questions, you can leave them in the comments down below. You can subscribe to my Instagram, but it is prohibited in Russia, so yeah. That's it, and good luck if you are going to pass IELTS. It's not that difficult. It's not the end of the life. It's just an exam. Bye! Don't think about the complex. For example, I listened to a podcast with Kendall Jenner, and she's нет. For example, I was listening to a podcast with Hailey Bieber, and she said Hailey Bieber или Hailey Bieber.